All right, you can see the slide deck, AI Exchange slide deck, noting that this is the 24th already OWASP AI Exchange gathering, the first one in the new year. Time flies when you're having fun. The agenda for today: welcoming new authors, some reminders, some updates. We talk about promotion, like for example the OWASP AppSec conference that's coming up, and maybe more conferences that you know about that we can collaborate on in submitting any interesting stuff. Some updates from work and any other business. Is there any point that you would like to have discussed, put on the agenda, so we can reserve time for it, or any things that you would like to share outside of the status of the work items? I hear none. If you do come up with something, of course, you can always interrupt me. No need to raise your hands. We're a nice compact group, so it's fine. Welcome to new members. New applicants are in the pipeline. Also, after today's call for experts, I got some messages in from people responding very positively on our work with the AI Act and wanting to join in. I had a conversation with the CISO of Peloton this week. I don't know if you're familiar with this company. They're a sports household name in the US. They're the makers of a very special trainer, cycling trainer. And the CISO, also very keen AI expert, has expressed his interest in joining our group. So people are coming in, but it's been quiet because of the holidays. The usual flight safety instructions: keep on returning to Slack, visit it regularly to see if there are any updates. That's our main communication channel. Share if you're working on an item with others. Your unavailability for a period, it can happen. We're all super busy, and that's why we need to know when we can depend on each other and when we cannot. Let leadership know if you need anything or have impediments. That's Chrismy, Banaz, or Aranish. Help make noise for the exchange, submitting to a conference, posting on socials. Make sure you tag the AI Exchange. As a note, we focus on what is AI specific, and we minimize conventional material. We don't detail how an ISMS works, for example. And this is because a lot of these sort of conventional security practices and guidelines already have been published. We want to focus on what is specific on AI. And sometimes we need to mention the context of conventional security, what we should prevent to spend a lot of effort on diving into the details of, for example, an ISMS, or how you do proper logging, unless it's about what is specific about AI for logging, like, for example, logging traces, logging input and output, and logging AI-specific detections. Always use suggest and review mode when editing in Google Doc. There are some difficulties with Google Documents when they become really big, which is why it's important to use the suggest mode or apply comments. So those were the standard safety instructions. Some updates from our side. As you probably know, Benas is being onboarded in the leadership team. We had, of course, the holiday season, and we're now planning a leadership meeting where we can distribute the work and let Benas learn the secret handshake, etc. And we're very happy and glad about it, as is Benas, as I understood. We're exploring opportunities for sponsoring and further funding. Now, we don't want to become a company, but we do have aspirations when it comes to sharing what we've learned through talks, visiting conferences, etc. We want to make funding available for that. We're exploring that. It comes at a price, requires effort, requires maybe some investments. And we're exploring this together with Scott Clinton, who has also helped the LLM Top 10. So just to be clear, this funding is not to pay anyone part of the AI exchange. I mean, that's the whole mechanism of OWASP. We're all volunteers, but sometimes we need to make some costs, like, for example, have some artwork made, have some AI exchange mugs printed, and send somebody over to a conference who doesn't have the luxury of an employer who wants to pay for that. So stay tuned for updates in that regard. ISO 27090, mentioned in the previous call, received a lot of updates from us, about 70 pages that were all approved. And thanks to that, that's what I believe, because of this substantial content, the standard now feels comfortable enough to go into a distributed international standard stage, which you need to still go through a number of review rounds and hoops, but that is looking good. And that has been one of our major milestones as an AI exchange, to have this, to be of this tremendous support to this important international standard. This standard is a guidance standard, meaning that it provides all kinds of overviews on what you can do. The standard that we're working on for the AI Act is rather different, because it wants to specify exactly what you need to do in an objectively verifiable way, with some flexibility built in. But it's not like the 27090, a list of things that you could consider. Also very helpful, the guidance, but with guidance, you can't make a product standard, because it will not be clear to vendors what they should do and what they should not do. And that has been the focus on our work for the AI Act, which brings me to that work for the AI Act, which is, I think, a moment of rejoicing for us. Because what actually happened is that, for those of you who are new to this work that we do for the AI Act, we've been working on this for quite a while now, collecting information, how do you say, requirements for AI security to be put into this AI Act security standard, a harmonized standard. We are using the official liaison partnership that OWASP has with Sensenelic, who is creating this standard, to bring this content forward. You have to see it like this. There's the working group 5 in Sensenelic, who is tasked with creating this standard. There are a number of experts involved there, but they're all really busy. And then you have the AI exchange, where we have a larger group of experts involved that are also all really busy. And because we have this combined effort, we managed to provide 48 pages of content to the AI Act security standard that has now fed into a draft that is being reviewed by the group. So major kudos to the requirements team for this achievement. Currently, we are in a final sprint that needs to finish before January 21st, because then we'll be collecting all the new input, including the review phase that we're currently in, which is that sprint. So there is content, but there's still some stuff missing. There's stuff to check to see if we believe it's written, correctly and sufficiently complete, because it still is a draft standard. It doesn't have to be perfect. So we're reviewing in the requirements group. We're adding some new content, just a few paragraphs on a specific topic that was still missing. And we want to have that finished on January 21st. And on a personal note, I'll be very happy when it is January 21st, because this has been taking up way too much of my time, and it ties into my New Year's resolution for 2025 to be a little bit more healthy and don't spend too much time on stuff that you love, but requires too much effort and it creates too much stress. So the plan A that we're on right now is to take this draft standard into country ballot in February 7, which means that all the EU countries are going to provide comments. And I hope and I fear at the same time that this will be 1,000 comments. This is AI, everybody has their opinion, so we'll get a lot. And of course, the standard is not complete, so a lot will be missing, so we'll get a lot of ideas. And that's the whole point, right? Some of the ideas are caused by misconceptions, and that always happens. It happens to the best of us. Some ideas are already taken care of in the standard, but that wasn't clear, so we can make it more clear. And some ideas will be helpful updates to the standard, maybe new controls to add, maybe more specific configurations that can be helpful, maybe new threats that have been identified or threat categories that we need to ask. So that's going to be an exciting time. Now, if you're not from the EU, you may wonder, why does this matter? Well, this is the first standard that actually says, draws a product requirement line between your product is going on the market and your product is not going on the market. So it's the first time that we're forced to be specific about when AI security is good enough. And that's the solution for that is what we're working on, is going to be helpful for many, many organizations, which is why we'll be feeding the work that we've done and that we continue to do on this work item back into our OWASP AI Exchange website. So the stuff that we developed, for example, for detection of evasion attacks, we can almost one-on-one cycle back into our content on the website. Where, hello, Susanna, welcome. Hey there. We have to take into account something weird, and I'd like you to be aware of that. We provide our content copyright free, so anybody can copy. At the same time, because we have this liaison partnership with Sensenelec, that material that we provide, although it's copyright free, they need to be able to copyright their work. Now, technically, this is not possible, but if we say this is not possible, there can be no collaboration between the security community and Sensenelec. So we'll make it possible, and the way we'll do it is that while we take the content back into the AI exchange, with this in mind, we integrate it back into the text. And what we want to prevent is exact copy and paste of the content that we contributed to the standard. That's the way copyright works. I don't regard it as a problem because the way we wrote down the AI exchange is with a different purpose. It's not a product standard. It's to make things clear to security and AI professionals, right? So we want to phrase things differently. So when we will be feeding back the work that we did for the AI Act, we will apply some paraphrasing because it will fit our goal better and because we are dealing with this weird copyright issue. For illustration, this is what it looked like in Amsterdam this Monday and Tuesday. This is at the headquarters of my company, Software Improvement Group. So we had people from the European Commission and Sensenelec there working. It's really tough work because you need to come to consensus. And that's the whole thing with standards, right? Experts need to find consensus. And there were very different opinions. And I was very tired after 2 days, but it was fruitful. And let me show you the contribution that we've made. So zoomed out, if I put our contribution in Microsoft Word and I zoom out, this is what you get. So it's of course not readable, but it is 48 pages of material that we contributed to the standard. Special mention to the people who provided these contributions. Yeah, it's been instrumental, I think, in without these contributions, I believe we would not have been able to provide this to Working Group 5 and to go into country ballot. And who knows how much more time it would have taken us to get the standard into the next phase. We might have even failed. So, yeah, provided that we get approval to go into country ballot, fingers crossed, our work has been essential for this, which is quite rewarding. It's rewarding to me. I hope it's rewarding to you. It wasn't easy, complexity-wise. The special mention here, the extra special mention is for Nicholas, who was so kind to sort of be my adversarial machine learning security therapist for a couple of days in a row. Every evening, his evening in China, after a busy day of visiting all the great China sites, spent time with me to discuss, but to try and bridge really the very theoretical, more academic research field of adversarial ML, and how do you put this into sort of pragmatic requirements for vendors, and take things like intended use case and operational context into account. And I think the most noteworthy results for that are the sections on detection of adversarial ML attacks and testing of those. There's still work to do on these sections. Banaz and others have proposed to have another look at it, also from the red teaming effort perspective. But yeah, this is quite special. So congratulations to you all for this achievement. It's another great milestone from the AI Exchange. I don't know how to celebrate because we can't really high five. A moment of silence is also weird, but let's let it sink in, guys, that we did this. Right, about the website, the focus has been on the AI Act requirements, and there are efforts going on, parallel projects such as the AI red teaming project and the step-by-step guide. And these are parallel projects, so they don't directly feed into the website. So the website has seen very, very little updates, but that is by design, right? Because we're going to feed back the work that we did for the AI Act into the OWASP AI website, and also the AI red teaming and step-by-step guide are going to be part of that, scope of documentation. Which brings us to promotion, branding, conferences, and awareness. In the meantime, Aranish joined. Sorry, I didn't notice. Hope you're okay. Are you in a car or an airplane?
No, this time I'm actually in London right now. And believe it or not, I'm supposed to meet John either today or tomorrow in person. So
that's nice. Great. Well, good evening then to you too. Hope you're okay. I know that Aranish, you wanted to touch on the OWASP Global AppSec EU 2025, which is taking place end of May in Barcelona, which, weather-wise and location-wise doesn't sound like a bad idea at all. What do we know at this stage about any ideas for submitting things, Aranish? Do we have an overview, or should we start creating one?
Okay, so there are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. First is all the submissions that we had done. I don't have the list in front of me, but we had done a bunch of submissions for the RSA, which is happening in, I think it's end of April, beginning of May. So decisions for those submissions should be coming out sometime middle of January. So another week we should start hearing. And quite frankly, I have submitted a lot of submissions, not just on a specific topic, but a variety. So definitely keep checking your emails. I will also provide like an update when decision starts coming in, so that people can actually piggyback on that one. So that's happening. There are a bunch of other conferences. ISACA is one, uh, and definitely was Global Conference in Barcelona. That's an important one, because many of us who are in EU cannot present in US, but I think it provides like a forum or uh, or a location where they can actually either participate or present. So I think the Barcelona one is definitely something we should be tapping into a lot. And quite frankly, I think what we started off sometime in last year was, we have bunch of submissions that were already done. So we should reuse the material from the past submission itself, so that we are not recreating, say, initial 5-7 slide which talks about AI exchange, or we can actually leverage that one, right? And even for the new submissions, I think we can actually look at previous submissions, and if uh, you can get an agreement with the person who had submitted earlier, that you can reuse that submission, I think we should encourage that more and more. Uh,
Would it be an idea to ask around in the group now if anybody has already started submitting things or submitted things to Barcelona or intends to do?
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, I think, I'm not sure what is the right way of doing it, but anybody who has already done or is willing to do or is in the process of doing, maybe you can chime in and share your thoughts on this one.
I have three things. The AI security training that I provided in Lisbon, I'm going to try to do that again. I need to submit that before Monday, which I will. It's basically an AI exchange training. Then I'll be working with the conference organizer to see if they want me to do another keynote, but I guess they're getting tired of me. Yeah, you can't always keynote on these conferences. I intend to submit a talk on applying the AI exchange on OpenCRE. OpenCRE is my other OWASP child, so to speak. And it's a project that contains an AI system, and we ran into a bunch of vulnerabilities while developing it. And I want to, as a use case, no, as a case study, apply the AI exchange on OpenCRE to see, to practice with the audience what you run into when it comes to security, but also some responsible AI. Those are my bets for Barcelona. Anybody else with ideas, intentions?
Yes.
I think Arunesh and I we wanted to submit about different actually topics as a speakers. So we are on a process to choosing the topic, as I mentioned last time, because we have the deadline is end of this month, and we are working on choosing a topic actually.
Yeah, I also want to submit something based on the talks, on my previous talks, on the topics of AI security, like the whole adversarial machine learning landscape, and maybe some deep fakes, and like kind of this.
Sounds like fun. Any other for Barcelona? Maybe real brief, Benas. Do you have a short list of topics, or are you still in sort of in the brainstorming phase?
No, I have a short of the list of the topic. I think it's more than 10 different topics which I shared with Arunesh. And last year, actually, I shared it with. And we have to have a compromise about the topics that we wanted to actually submit about it.
Got it. Back to you, Aranish.
And yeah, I think like similar to what you were saying, Rob, I think it's not just the presentation that we should be looking at, but also for the training. There are some conferences that definitely encourage and have like a slot for the trainings, the CFTs. In fact, there is a workshop that I'm doing in CactusCon, which is in Arizona. I believe it's next month. So that's something that I want to redo in multiple other conferences also. So definitely, people should think about doing the trainings itself at such conference, which actually gives us more visibility. Because presentation is in a diamond dozen, right? Everybody's talking about the presentations, but I think what also stands out is the training itself. And typically in any conference, there might be like maybe 5, maybe 8 different trainings itself. If we can actually stand out in that one and provide something meaty where people feel, oh, this is like remarkable, I learned something new, and there is something I had like a touch and feel, it actually gives us a lot of good credibility. And yeah, I think that's something we should actually do more and more.
Are you suggesting that we should do more submissions for Barcelona also, for more trainings?
Yeah, I mean, like, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm not sure if anybody is willing to do that. I can partner with someone, or somebody is attending. I can actually pair up with that person for, say, prompt injection training that I'm doing, right? So,
Any takers?
I can partner with you, Runesh, if anything could be done remotely. I'll be happy
actually,
to.
yeah, I'll definitely tap into that one if there is a conference which allow for a remote workshop, which is usually very difficult because it's usually within the room that people
Right.
come, whether it's 10 people or 50 people or 100 people, right? It's usually in person, but if there is something that comes my way where it allows for like a remote workshop, I'll definitely tap into you.
Yeah, that's one thing. Even otherwise, if you or anyone else could present it in person, we can always I can always collaborate and create content for that. That's also fine.
Absolutely, yeah.
I propose, Aaron, you put this request also on the Slack channel. Of course, the larger group is larger than this, and maybe people keen on doing a training by themselves or with you in Barcelona.
And just last one extra thing on the conferences and the promotion one. If you are presenting at a conference or have already presented, you should definitely put it on LinkedIn and tag AI Exchange. So there is like a cross visibility that happens on both sides.
Yeah, you also benefit from it directly because the AI Exchange will repost your message. And we currently have, I don't know, 3,000 followers, which is pretty good for an OWASP project. It's actually in the top 1%, I think, for OWASP projects. So you get some nice exposure. Any other things from conference land, Aranish?
Yes, I want to add something. So I completely agree with Arunj, and I think we need to have more training on a Barcelona and submit about it. And so one of the other thing which I faced in last month I received this feedback from 3 different people. They wanted training to how to use OWASP AI Exchange for daily using, which means that they wanted to know how they can arrange actually how they can use correctly information. For example, they need to understand more details because they thought about that, okay, they want to know more. So I thought maybe in future we can have or in conferences or separate more training about all the materials which we have about prompt injection, about governance, and about other topics.
Yeah, I invite everybody to pursue this. Indeed, there's a big interest for it. Benas, you were at the training in Lisbon. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of interest. So yeah, we have something to offer indeed.
Yeah.
Any other things conference-wise? If not, let's keep each other posted on progress and ideas regarding these upcoming conferences. Know that the training deadline for Barcelona is this Monday. The talks are end of January, but training submissions have to be in before Monday. We move to update of the work streams. One bird's eye view is where are we? Our next milestone is 0.9, which is a community review draft. It's the next version of the AI exchange. And part of it is requirements for products, the AI Act. 7 things to complete with mapping to other standards. 5 things regarding mathematics, which can borrow heavily from the work for the AI Act. 4 miscellaneous small items, 7 smaller editorial tasks, and 3 integration tasks for me. So mostly the work to be done is letting the AI Act requirement work cycle back to the content of the AI exchange. Next to that, mapping with other standards. And with mapping, I don't mean that we need to create all kinds of links, but that we'll look at the work of other standards to see if we align on terminology and to see if there are any differences. And if there are any differences, what actually the actual consensus is in the market, or perhaps we should endeavor to create such consensus. That's a large part of the work that remains, with the exception, of course, of the red teaming work, for which Benas has an update soon, and the step-by-step guide, which we'll cover shortly. But this is just a bird's eye view of our roadmap. Once we have these things done, we have a 0.9 version, and we can go into community review. When we have review back, we can work towards our milestone 1.0, which will integrate the community review results. And that will be a big new version of the AI exchange, where if you look at it from also from a bird's eye perspective, is sufficiently comprehensive, because we now have some blind spots, sufficiently clear, aligning with the consensus in the field, with guidance on red teaming, and with guidance on how to use the AI exchange step by step. That's sort of the quality goal that we set to ourselves for version 1.0. And why not go straight to 1.0? I believe we should leave it to the community to put the dots on the I when it comes to the AI exchange. Very interested in asking people to review certain parts and get their feedback. And after 1.0, we will build. We will prioritize based on community input and our shared vision. For example, look at deployment models, or more illustration of threat models and attack vectors. We want to cater to the community, and we are part of that community. So we have a view on what is needed. And from that, we'll build further on the AI exchange. So 1.0 is getting the product really out there with the confidence, okay, now we can take on stuff based on the demand in the market. Okay, to the workstream updates. These are the spotlight work items, starting with MLOps and data pipeline security. Work by Gal has been done. I've been terribly late with my review because of the AI Act work, for which I apologize. So that bandwidth that is necessary for that is coming up, which leads us to red teaming by Benas. I believe you have a slide on this, don't you?
Yes.
Let me look it up. It's right here, right?
Yes, exactly. So our review is finished. Actually, Rajiv, Yuvi, and I, during the holiday, we worked on a document. So, and we tested it, and it is rendered as a markdown. So it's working, and so you can download it as a .md file in GitHub as a separate page for the AI red teaming.
It's
So
amazing.
Excuse me?
It's amazing.
Yeah, and so it is finished, and we are finished, completely finished with it. I will send it to you tomorrow, the rendered markdown, and yeah, this is completely finished, and you can actually I test some of the sentences and some of the information on a GitHub, and it's working. So, and I will send it to you tomorrow, the whole of the document, because it's a large, huge amount of the information.
Wow. That must have been a lot of work.
Yes, actually during the holiday, Rajiv, UV, and we are working together, and it was at the 31 of December. We had a communication together, and it was very amazing. I really want many thanks to Rajiv and UV.
Wow. My compliments. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
It passes my expectations. So I'm really a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Looking forward to receive it, and
I will send it to you.
we'll put it online.
Yeah.
And we'll celebrate with champagne or virtual champagne.
Yeah.
Very curious to see this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is it a number of pages, or is it one page? Just out of curiosity.
I have to see it. It is 1,000 actually 1,000 line.
Okay, one page, right? It's one overview.
I cannot see the pages. I can
it's
only
one,
see the
it's one
line.
MD file, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I meant. Yeah. Cool. Then it's easier to fit it in.
Yeah.
All right, looking forward to fit that in and launch it, and we'll make some noise on the socials, and we'll work on the messaging on that.
Yeah.
Anything more to add on this?
No, actually, after that, after your approval, I think I will go to the next topic, which we have spoken about it last year, about the red teaming and somehow EU AI, I think. We had a discussion together. So I will send a message in our Slack about it for our AI red teaming. And I will schedule different meeting about it. But I will announce it next week.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
To those who may not know what the conversation regarding the AI Act and red teaming is about, it's important to sort of understand that the red teaming overviews that you mostly see are overviews of tools, and that's very helpful for the community. And what we notice is that, and I think Susanna iterated that this week, the expertise of AI red teams is something to be improved, because the strategies and the approaches and the methodology of the testing isn't really clear, and that's something that we can make a difference on, which we've sort of set some good first steps with the AI Act work, and by taking that back on the AI exchange, we can provide that content. So indeed, Banaz, on your plate with you and team is bringing back the AI Act content on the red teaming methodology back onto OWASP AI. At the same time, you'll also be joining leadership. So we'll have to see how you can balance that work and maybe rely more on the rest of the red teaming. I don't want to sort of overload you too much, but we'll work it out.
Yeah.
Thanks for this, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Going back to the overview, mathematics. One of the other big efforts is bringing back the content of the adversarial ML stuff from the AI Act document into the OWASP AI Exchange. And that's a project that we need to set up with the math team, and we'll need somebody to lead it. And I'm not going to ask Nicholas, and not because I don't think he can lead a thing like that. He has shown he can. But Nicholas, you need to finish your PhD thesis, right?
Yes, sadly.
So I'm not going to mess up your life by giving this responsibility to you. I would also imagine you would not accept it. So I'll work offline with you, Nicholas, and with the other folks in the math group to see how we can put a structure where we have one contact person who's leading this, and we can set up the work item with clarity and start this work. So I'll reach out to the group separately. But you are keen on staying involved, right? Coming time.
Definitely.
Cool. Very happy about that. Right. Any stuff to share on policy and regulation? I see that Chloe has joined.
Yeah.
Is there an update from your side?
Yeah, so giving everyone a heads up during the break, South Korea just came out with their basic AI Act, so do become aware of that. The other thing is that breaking news happened earlier today. A New York legislator said that they want to revive the failed bill around AI in California, and they want to bring it to New York. And this bill mostly focused on safety. So thought I should share that so you have some updates on the policy side. Other than that, we are arranging a monthly policy sync meeting. We should have that basically in the calendars very soon. And then the blog post about upcoming US AI policy changes, as some of you are aware. The Trump administration is taking over in a couple of weeks. And during that time, there is talk that he will probably make sure the executive order that the Biden administration has created and any work around AI may be scratched and maybe coming up with their own. So we'll have probably a new blog on that because changes are probably going to happen this month. So we'll be working on that blog once the Trump administration takes office and the changes start happening, or we find out that there will be changes soon. Last but not least, Susanna has been working on trying to get educational packet for legislators. I'll be working with her on getting the people's names and email addresses, who to contact, and we'll start sending out educational packets probably in February or March. Once again, we want everyone to, new members from Congress to settle in at this time. And so then they are able to really take a look at that packet. If you also are not aware of, there was a bipartisan US House that came together on an AI report. It is about 273 pages long, but it is quite a read and quite interesting to see where basically where legislators stand when it comes to AI safety and security. So I do recommend checking that out. That'll be probably for us and beneficial when we're reaching out to legislators in February or March. That's all.
Wow. How do we find this?
Yeah, I'll send the link.
Okay, you can put it on the office channel.
You got it.
Channel. All right. I want to take a brief break. Thanks for the update, Chloe, to welcome two people who haven't been on a call a lot, but I want to call them out. One person is Abdul Majid, if I pronounce it correctly. Thanks for joining. I know you are keen on data protection and privacy topics, correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
And
yeah.
I hope you then won't mind if I reach out to you to see how we can set up some collaboration together around this topic, which we typically concentrate on the AI security and privacy guide by OWASP. Would you be interested in exploring doing some work together there?
Yes, definitely. I'd be interested to see where I can contribute.
All right. I'll be careful what you wish for. I'll reach out to you. And we have Nina on the call. Nina, how are you doing? Finding the unmute button.
Hi, yep, sorry. I mean, now for now, fine. Yeah, I haven't been much present this last month because basically I have joined the AI office in the European Commission. So yeah, I've been busy with the transition and it's been pretty chaotic there.
Well, it's great that you joined the call. I mean, the link between us and you know, the stakes of the European Commission is clear. I would be interested in your input or your questions at any time. Your office is important to us. Actually, I realized that we haven't become acquainted apart from through these calls until now. And I'm very interested in your takes on how we are sort of applying that liaison partnership with Samsonite and getting the input from the European Commission. And if it would be possible to perhaps have a link to the AI office when it comes to if we have any questions or we wonder anything about regulation and strategy from the European Commission side, we could maybe get some answers through you.
Yeah, and in fact, yeah, I heard about you from Tatiana Evas. That I'm basically, yeah, I'm working with her. We're in the same office basically. So yeah, I was thinking that maybe I can help because of course she's pretty busy. And yeah, maybe I can work also as a mediator between the office, collaborate with her on, yeah, maybe ease a little bit her work.
So you work with Tatiana, right? Tatiana Evas?
Yeah, she's in one unit and I'm in the next one.
Yeah, she was in the group last Monday and Tuesday. I was very happy about that.
Yeah, I saw her in the photo and I know.
Oh yeah, she didn't object to me posting the photo, so I posted it.
Great.
I hope she doesn't mind.
I won't tell her, don't worry.
Okay, good. So I will reach out to you to see if we can set up a short.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can sing for sure.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, that was the intermezzo. Going back to our work items. Standards mapping and taxonomies is, and let me show you what we have on our plate right there by looking at the Google document right here, just for illustration. This is the section of our to-do list that is about aligning with other standards, aligning with the LLM top 10, the work from BIML, the work from MITRE, the work from NIST. I know that Suzanne has been working on that a lot. And content alignment with the verification standard, the Estonian government work, and the NIST SSDF AI extension. But what this work typically is that we look at it, and I think the work that Suzanne has done is looking at NIST content has almost the same how do you say purpose as the AI exchange, to see what words do they choose, how do they see things, what are the threats that they see, do they use the same names and taxonomy? If there are differences, are they you know, acceptable, or should we maybe discuss with NIST how frameworks can be sort of more aligned? That's for NIST. I think that's the biggest amount of work that we have. And then, for example, the Estonian government is a matter of somebody saying, I'm interested, I want to read that, go through it and see if you find any discrepancies with the AI exchange, any things that are, you know, covered differently, or any topics that you believe would need to be added to the AI exchange. So that's sort of the typical task that is involved here. I want to discuss with the leadership team how we can provide some supervision on this, also now that that John is gone and done doing other things. So with Benash and Aranis and Chris, we'll be talking about how to govern this. And I would like to ask the group if there are any updates from the standards aligning work, maybe from Susanna. And please go ahead. You're dropping off a little bit.
Yeah, so I think we are picking back up on that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
good now.
sorry, I think this connection might be a little unstable. Let me know if it cuts again. Okay, fantastic. So I am very grateful to Ahmed for his contributions to the document. And I know you're waiting on me for an answer for evasion attacks as well. So I'm going back over and reviewing and integrating those. We should be just about done with predictive AI at this point. We actually do need someone still to start looking at Gen AI, if at all possible, or else that's going to fall to me again as soon as we get done with the predictive AI section. That's pretty much the update. And I think I have a little more time to devote to that since we're, well, since my plate is a little bit lighter on the requirements end, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we're all happy that that requirements work is getting to a slowdown. Although we have this final sprint, of course. So predictive AI is going well. You were mentioning Ahmed. You're working with Ahmed on this, correct?
Yes, he's made a number of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. No interruption.
Okay, yeah. He's made a number of contributions to the document, as well as asked some good questions about how NIST and the AI Exchange are representing things like evasion attacks. So there's a lot to think about, and I'm just really grateful for another set of eyes on the document, because otherwise it's just me going through from my perspective and I'm bound to miss things. So if anyone else wants to jump in and take a look and go through and compare these two taxonomies, it's a little bit tedious at times, but I think it's very rewarding, and I would certainly appreciate the extra help.
Anybody wants to join in on the Gen AI effort of looking at how NIST has presented this taxonomy and how we can link that to the AI Exchange?
Maybe I didn't sell it well. I mean, this is way too much fun for one person.
No, we'll make sure it gets done. It just requires, I guess, some going back and forth on Slack, seeking out people who have LLMs in their profiles individually to see if they are interested. So we'll work it out. We're 3 minutes to the hour. Let's go back to the work streams, step-by-step guide. Any updates from that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if we actually had like a call on this in the last few weeks. So hopefully we can actually pick this up and have like an update for next meeting itself.
Please, that would be great. Yeah, it is part of the 0.9, so it's but I'm happy that we can integrate the AI red teaming stuff, that we have a plan for the math stuff, that the AI Act requirements are in a good place. Most of what we need to focus on, I think, with getting work items on the road is the standards mapping and taxonomies. And we'll discuss that in the leadership team call that we'll have in a couple of days. And we'll get back to you guys on what the plan is and how we want to organize this. Which brings me to the final question. Any final remarks, questions, impediments, needs for help? Feel free. Okay, well, in that case, we're done 1 minute to the hour, which is the first. So we're getting better and better at this. Thanks a lot, guys. See you on Slack. Yeah, let's open up next time that bottle of champagne when we have the red teaming work integrated. Yeah. Really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much. Bye.
Thanks, Rob. Ciao.
Have a nice day all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.